My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca Jorge, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hi, everyone. Happy Australian Open Day 2.
It feels weird saying that on a Sunday afternoon, evening, night, early hours of Monday morning, wherever you are in the world. Day 2. I don't know if I'm like down with this. I know it started. They did an opening Sunday last year as well, didn't they? But I don't think I like it.
Yeah,
I'm still like a day 1 type person for a Monday.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I enjoy the whole Sunday start because it feels like you I don't know. It feels a little bit like I feel like Monday's a starting gun. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it is technically Monday in Australia.
Yeah, true,
right?
true.
So
True.
It is
true.
Monday start for them.
I suppose. Yeah,
but it's day
suppose.
2. It's not the
That's
opening
true.
day
Yeah, I
2.
guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Started
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it does feel a bit strange. I mean, I've only watched a little bit of the tennis so far. I don't know if have you guys watched more than that?
Small amounts.
No, I
Maybe.
didn't watch any yesterday. There wasn't a whole lot for me personally that I was interested in.
Okay.
But I feel like I'm always like
weird.
that on day 1.
I'm the opposite because I always think day 1 and day 2 are always like the best days, the most chaotic, the most exciting for me because you're like, there are like 64 incredible matches that I need to get through here and like you're trying to pick out and there's so many on at the same time. But I kind of feel like yesterday was a bit of a dud. Like, they had Sabalenka was by far the biggest pool.
Claire,
And I
how
kind
are you feeling about that Sabalenka match, given that you're a huge Sloane fan?
So I am a massive Sloane Stephens fan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
absolutely love her. Like I would lie on broken glass and let her walk across me. Like I absolutely love her.
Taking time out of episodes of Murray Musings, like just randomly. We're talking about a random Andy match. Claire says, "Guys, have you thought about Sloane Stephens in a while?" I mean, people are like, "No, not really," but okay, yeah. I mean, there she is, Claire. So how are you feeling about that performance?
Absolutely gutted. It's like a horror matchup for me when I saw that she was playing Sabalenka because I really like Sabalenka as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is grim. I can't believe they're playing each other in round 1. It was like the US Open a few years ago when Sloane played Madison Keys in round 1. I was like, how has it come to this?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's such a shame. And she actually she had a few really, really good games, but just at the end of the day, like you can't compete with Sabalenka. Like I cannot see past her for the title. So yeah. But it was nice to see her out there playing, and she looked she looked quite upbeat most of the time. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for Sloane this season.
Yeah, hopefully. Since you said, Claire, you have Snabs picked for the title, let's talk brackets for a second. Who do you have on either side getting through to the finals?
So I've actually got I did my women's bracket in a bit of a rush because I had actually forgotten that it was starting yesterday, and I was like, oh, I've got like an hour to do this, and eventually I just threw caution to the wind, and I've gone with a Rybakina Sabalenka final.
Oh my gosh,
which is interesting.
Yeah, which is probably not going to happen, but I've got Sabalenka to win. I sat for ages mulling over Coco Gauff and Sabalenka for the semi-final, and I was like, oh, could Coco do it? But I just don't think. I think Sabalenka's too strong on the Australian Open. I think she'll get it over the line. And for the men, obviously, I've gone for Djokovic because he's going to be he's got the greatest coach in the world. So
Are you picking? Hang on. Are you picking Djokovic purely because Andy Murray is on his team?
Yes.
Like if you,
hey, listen, Isabel, I am nothing if not delusional.
Isabel, can I know we were briefly talking about the women's draw there and all, but obviously this is going to come up and will come up multiple times, like in this episode, because me and Claire are here, who are obsessed with Andy Murray, obviously. But Isabel, like how you're obviously an Andy fan. We've had you on Murray Musings before, and
no, I've never been on Murray Musings.
Have we not had you on Murray Musings before?
You have not had me on Murray Musings.
Okay, we're going to get that sorted.
I feel like in my head, because we've actually met you in person. Like
match. That was
that's what it'll be.
But no, you have not had me on your podcast.
Okay, we need to change that. No, this is highly embarrassing. Let's gloss over that.
Moving on. What were you going to ask?
We're going to have you on the podcast. Yeah, like how obviously you're an Andy Murray fan. You saw Andy in person. You're not a huge Novak fan. So how's this partnership coming into your head?
I mean, I think like everybody else, I was just shocked. I always thought that Andy would end up coaching. I didn't think it would be that soon, and I didn't think it would be with Novak.
Yeah.
And I heard on I think it was Andy Roddick's podcast that a lot of people asked Murray immediately if he would come and coach for them, and he said no to everyone except for Novak. I don't really. It doesn't change my personal opinions on Novak. It doesn't make me more or less of a fan. I don't really know what he's going to bring to Novak's game, because I do feel like Novak at this point, does he really need coaching? But I'm interested to see what the difference is going to make. It's surprising. I don't get it, but I'm curious. Yeah.
That is probably the neutral, the kind of actual sensible kind of viewpoint of this.
Yeah.
And then you obviously have me and Claire being like, well, I mean, this is just another dominant partnership. He's going to win all 4 slams.
I think he wants a pal on tour.
I think it is.
He wants a pal on tour with him.
I genuinely think he is just looking for something that'll get headlines and just, get some excitement and stuff. Because I do almost feel like that is what he needs at this point, because he has won everything. Like there is, a sense that like, what's he still playing for? So I think he might just be looking for, a bit of fun and a bit of, excitement with his good pal Novak. Do you know what I mean? I feel like, if that's not going to carry him like forward, then maybe we'll get to the end of the season. Andy's the partnership's failed and stuff like that, and then he retires. Who knows? I guess we'll see. But I don't know. I feel like it'll be interesting. I'm sure we'll be watching it happen. What time is the match on at for you tomorrow as well? Like, because that'll be
for me. Let me pull that up.
Will it?
Novak's match?
Yeah.
Let's see, where is he?
Is that 8
might
a.m.
be
I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Might be about midnight here.
Okay.
He's midnight. All the good matches are during the it's the night session for me, but it's obviously the day session for them. But it's not fun for me to at the Australian Open. But yeah, that'll be on about midnight. Today I just have stuff starting at like 4:00.
Sure.
Things like that.
See, that's quite reasonable for your day matches when you get like the kind of 4 p.m. start. But
it's great. It's just all the good stuff is on. When I have to go to bed. I almost always miss the majority of Australian Open finals because they'll start at like 2 a.m. Pacific Coast time. So I'll set an alarm and I'll get up, but I never make it through those matches fully.
Entirely valid. So like me and Claire are like fully engrossed in obviously in Novak and and Andy. Isabel, for you, who is the more neutral person here, who are you? Who are you excited for? What are you looking at? What's your
Well,
vibe?
okay. For my final, I have on the men's side, I have Sinner and Alcaraz.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah. Makes sense.
And I do have Novak getting to the quarters.
Okay.
And I have him losing to Alcaraz.
Okay.
So those are my picks. I think I have Sinner to win the tournament. I don't really see. I mean, I think he's playing Yari tonight, so we'll see how that fares. I don't think that's the easiest first round matchup for him, but I really don't see anyone taking him down. He's just so
it's just not like
he's just so even and ice cold and like nothing. No one can shake him. I mean, even unless Carlos is playing at his like absolute best, that might be the only challenge for him. So
I've just had to look through my bracket because, like I said, I was doing it in like an hour last night. And I couldn't remember. I could only remember my winners were. I've got Sinner and Medvedev in the semi-finals.
Yeah, me too.
Medvedev to beat him.
You put Medvedev to beat him.
To hell with it. To hell with it. Daniil's going to beat Sinner in the semi-finals. That is just what a call. And I've got Djokovic beating Tommy Paul. How I've got Tommy Paul to the semi-finals, I do not know.
Sorry, what?
I have him in my quarterfinals actually, so I'm not far behind you. Okay. But I have Tommy Paul going down to Zverev, I believe.
Oh, see, I have got.
When do you have Zverev?
Being the person that I am, I've got Zverev going out much earlier. Like I've.
Look, I don't blame you.
I mean,
it's against my better judgment to have him getting all the way to the semis.
I've got Zverev going out in the round of 32, which is basically wishful thinking.
Is that not like?
Do you have him going down to Nick Kyrgios or something?
No, I've got him going down to Jacob Fernley, who's going to beat Nick Kyrgios tonight.
You know what?
You think he's going to beat Nick Kyrgios tonight?
Scott. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think Nick Kyrgios will have one good match.
Do you think? Like with
given how much he's been running his mouth, I think he'll have one good match, and then he meets Zverev in the second round.
Yeah, and I also
I
partly think that he'll win that first round and then just not retire from the tournament because he's not like he's talking about injury as well. So I don't know.
There's
I feel like
a lot of injuries going around from what I've
there is.
heard.
So yeah, I'm not entirely certain. Like, sorry, like for the famous Kyrgios and Sinner match to happen, like when would that need to happen? When are they?
They're on like opposite sides of the draw. I don't think they would meet unless I think they would only meet in like a semi.
Okay, well.
Yeah, they would only meet in the semis, but I don't.
Yeah, that's not
foresee that happening.
That's not happening.
There's no way.
Like, that's just not taking place. I do think it's wild, like thinking back, like what I was going to say when you were talking about Sinner and like not being able to see past him and stuff like that. Like, I think back to like this time a year ago, and like was anybody picking Sinner? Like, I can't remember anybody picking Sinner like for the Australian Open because obviously
you know who was my mother.
Oh really?
Really?
She has been a Sinner fan since the beginning, and I didn't get it for a very long time. I was just like, I don't see it. I don't get it. And she was like, no. I'm all in on Jannik.
Amazing.
I was fully the same. I was fully the same as you. Like, I didn't think he had like the. And to be fair, this is coming from the same guy who said that like. I was like, Alcaraz, yeah, he might win a major in like 2026, and he's like being world number one, and he's all like,
he'll have 7 by that time.
Yeah, he'll have 7 by then. But like, I just didn't. For me, like a year ago, like I was saying, like I just didn't think that Sinner had like the fitness to go 5 sets. Do you know what I mean? Like to go 5 sets all the way through, like and win a major, and then obviously, you know, this year happened, that year happened, so. Yeah, it feels very weird to now be sitting here being like, yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know. I don't really know who's going to beat him. Obviously, apart from Novak and Andy.
Novak, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. But Yeah, I mean, it is. It does feel weird. It makes you obviously think, like, how much things change, how much tennis changes in a year. Because, like, yeah, I don't know. Nobody was thinking that much.
For me, I feel like one of the kind of big turning points for Sinner was to see the Wimbledon semi-final in 2023.
Yeah.
He was absolutely annihilated by Djokovic. Like, he'd had such a good tournament throughout, and then he just fell apart in that semi-final. Because I was at that match. I remember watching it because I was like, this is going to be an amazing match. It's going to be 5 sets. It's going to be so close. I think I had tipped Sinner to win it. And he just crumbled, and it was like 6-1, 6-2, 6-3 or something.
Yeah.
And I
didn't he almost beat him the year before or the following year?
He may have, maybe.
Probably, yeah. But I can't remember it. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But I wondered if he like came out of that match and he was like, right, something has to change here. Like, if you're going to go toe to toe with this guy, you have to be the absolute best.
Something has to change.
Like, I mean, something changed last year. So,
yeah.
But even I think it's the fact that he even made the final last year was a surprise to me, and I don't think I was really paying much attention to him throughout the tournament. And it wasn't until his semifinal that I thought, this looks like a different guy.
Yeah, this guy's here.
Like he's everything he's doing is like technically perfect.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
he's just not missing from any corner of the court.
Yeah, that is kind of. Okay? So, like, do we like him?
Like, what do you mean?
Oh, he's so good. He's technically perfect. He's a pick for the title. Can't really see past him. Yeah, but we all don't really like him, do we?
No. Okay, here's the thing.
We all think he's.
I think he's fine. I'm not a Carota boy. I'm not. I'm not gonna
talk away out saying that she doesn't like him.
That's no. I don't mind him. I don't think he really excites me because everything he's doing is so perfect, and he has no. I don't want to say no personality because that's mean. He obviously has a personality. It's just so like he's like Rabakina, you know what I mean? Like he celebrates by just going like, "Yes, I won the title. Great." Like it's just there's nothing.
It's not like, but like as somebody who would not classify themselves as a Jannik Sinner fan for like some of the reasons we're probably going to talk about, but like, is that not maybe like is that not similar to what people liked about Federer? Like Federer was similar, right? Like he just showed no emotion, and when he won, it was just like, yeah.
He showed emotion when he won, absolutely,
yeah.
And he was very funny,
Yeah, I think Federer had a bit of charisma about him as well, which Jannik does not have. Like, I mean, sorry, I'm just going to say it. Like, he doesn't have any charisma. He's one of the most vanilla people I've ever like seen interviewed in my life.
And I think that's why. Yeah,
he's perfectly PR'd, like he knows to say the right things.
Sorry, is he?
I mean, just look at how he's handled all of this abuse from Nick Kyrgios that's been happening for the last month. He just says like, I don't need to think about it. Like that is really well coached.
Yeah, true.
Just not engaging, and I think that's also goes with the vanilla thing. He does not engage with it in that way, which I think is great because it's diffusing, all of this crazy stuff from Nick Kyrgios. But he doesn't have the same charisma, especially standing next to someone like Alcaraz. It just makes it really like a stark difference,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I suppose we should say people do have quieter personalities than others. Like
it's totally fine.
Like it's just a thing. I do think I said to a friend the other day that like I do think it's quite impressive that like he's the most controversial player, right, in the world at the moment, and yet he is a bit boring.
The most boring as well. Yeah.
Like it's quite impressive that he's managed to simultaneously be arguably the most controversial player in the world, and also like none of us really.
I think when it comes down to it, I do like him. What is that?
Sorry, sorry.
John seems to have too much time on his hands backstage.
Yeah, sorry, John. We thought you were working, John.
Okay, so when it comes down to it, I do like Sinner, but I think if he's going up against someone like Alcaraz, I'm probably going to lean towards Alcaraz.
Sure.
In that matchup, you know.
Okay.
But if he wins the tournament, like I'm not going to be mad about it.
I don't like Sinner.
Okay.
Okay.
Claire?
I'm actually, do you know what? I am totally indifferent towards him. I feel like there's not enough there for me to go, oh, I really don't like this guy. But there's also nothing there for me to go, I really like him. So I'm just completely indifferent. Like Isabel said, if he was to win the tournament, I'd be like, cool, you know, whatever. Obviously, Djokovic broke his leg, which is the reason why he wasn't able to win it.
Sure,
So, but if, you know,
there's
do you know what?
Not enough for you to care.
No, I would cheer for him if he was playing Alexander Zverev.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Anyone else, I'd be like, nah. Yeah.
So what about Kyrgios?
Oh, I'd probably cheer for him against Kyrgios. Yes. In fact, the no probably about it is an absolute. I would cheer for him against Kyrgios.
For like, is that feeling of like just not caring either way? That's arguably worse, right? Like that's arguably worse than hating him, like than just not liking him. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd rather. I remember the players that I hate much more than the players I'm like.
Yeah.
You know, they're on the radar. Like, do you know what I mean?
The thing is,
like,
I don't think I'll ever forget about Yannick Sinner, you know, in the grand scheme of things, because he's a Grand Slam winner. Yeah. He has played some great matches. He's been involved in some great matches, and he's won slams that you go, oh wow, that was really impressive. So like, I'm never going to forget about him, but he probably wouldn't be like my standout. He'd never be in my top 10 standout players that I've watched win slam finals.
Yeah, fair enough.
I do like what is happening because of him with Italian tennis.
For sure.
And I really wish that the US would take note of what Italy is doing because of Yannick's success. You know, like they're pouring money into tennis programs. They created a whole streaming service to watch tennis for free for all Italians. So anyone in Italy can watch Yannick Sinner play for free on television.
That's crazy.
So they're really leaning into, we have somebody, you know, from our country who does not have good, like historically, like winners in tennis. So I do like what he's kind of created for tennis in his country. I think that's really great. But I still feel like if he's going to play somebody I like slightly more, then I'm going to root against him a little bit.
So, I mean, so I've spoken to Claire a little bit about this already. Like, since we're obviously tiptoeing around the big elephant in the room, Isabel, what are your thoughts on Sinner's situation with the whole, you know, drug testing?
I believe him. I really do.
You do? Okay.
I do. Yeah. I've read, you know, as much information as I can sort of stomach on the topic,
sure,
or as much as is that I can understand, because it does get a little complicated. Water rules get very complicated.
It does,
yes. And I've listened to pundits talk about it, and what he says to me sounds plausible, and I agree with what like Andy Roddick has said on the subject, that they're always adding new things to these lists of banned substances, and it gets very complex, and you don't know what's in everything, and you can have slip-ups, and it doesn't mean necessarily that you're taking steroids.
Sure. Yes.
So I believe him, and I do think that this whole thing is getting a little bit blown out of proportion, and there's been a bit of an overreaction to it.
Do you think he'll get banned?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it would be fair if he did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, it's the. I agree with Isabel. I don't think he's done anything on purpose. And I don't think he's been like, oh, I know the best way to dope is to get my physio to rub some cream into my legs. For me, it's the handling of it all.
Yes.
And I think it's the disparity between how it's been handled for him and how it would probably have been handled for a much lower ranked player. So I think it's, the issues for me is around the transparency of how one player gets treated versus how another player would get treated in the same situation. That's the issue that I've got. So my issue is with like WADA and the authorities that do all the testing and what have you. My issue isn't really with Sinner being like, I had a cut on my leg and I got this massage, or my physio had a cut, whatever it was that it happened.
Well, he has psoriasis, right? That's what. Yes, he's got a skin condition that like makes things coming into your skin more susceptible, or whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounded like an accident, but yeah, I agree with you, Claire. Like I think the bigger issue is how WADA is handling it.
Yeah. It'll be intriguing, and it's also a shame, right? Like it's a shame that is like the story, at the moment, until obviously Andy came along to save us from that endless rhetoric. It'll be intriguing. There's not gonna be a kind of resolution for it decided for another few months. I think, is that right? Around Monte Carlo, I think they said they were meeting up in a courtroom somewhere.
Really that long? Wow.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. The clay season at some point. So yeah, we'll see then. So we get to enjoy the next few months of this endless, chat. So that's fun. Anyway,
there've been a lot of doping charges coming out, though. I mean, it's kind of crazy that it's not just Sinner; it was also Iga and also Max Purcell.
Yes, at the time.
And I noticed this on the horrific place that is Twitter. Obviously Nick Kyrgios has been very vocal about what's happened with Jannik and with Iga. And I noticed that when Max Purcell's doping charge came out, Nick had nothing to say.
He didn't really say much, did he?
No.
In fact, if anything, like, I think he tweeted something like, "Oh, can't believe the state that the game is in right now," and then very quickly, like, moved on from it. Like, is he quite good friends with Max Purcell? Do we know?
I don't know if they're friends, but I mean, I know they are countrymen. So
wasn't there a little bit of beef between, remember when Kyrgios and Kokkinakis played doubles together at the Australian Open a couple of years ago? Didn't they play Ebden and Purcell, and there was like a little bit of beef between them, like Kyrgios was just doing his usual. So I don't know if they are pals. Actually, I don't think he's got a lot of pals, to be honest.
Well, if they weren't pals, then it seems like he would hop on Purcell's positive test.
Yeah.
Something that a journalist pointed out, one of the reasons maybe that Nick has been so like on Sinner about it is because Sinner is dating his ex-girlfriend.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Kind of
so immature.
I really just want him to stop talking.
It's not great because, like, I do feel like there's valid conversation to be had around this topic, and then there's just this guy who just, I don't know, he makes the situation even more difficult than it needs to be by having an opinion on it. But anyway, sorry. Is there any other players we should talk about in the men's draw?
So wait, Scott, you have Novak to win? Is that what you said?
I mean, yeah, I'm vibing with that. Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Scott hasn't given it any thought whatsoever, Isabel. I think this is clear.
Absolutely. Like, yeah.
I'm literally like, I can't even fully describe like how much I'm just here for Andy coaching. And like, I'm actually like on that topic. I am a huge Novak Djokovic fan. So this was, like one of my wonderful dreams come to life when this partnership happened. So absolutely. Like that, if if Novak wins and thanks Andy Murray, and then they take a photo together afterwards with the trophy, I mean, oh my God,
Yep.
like, come on. Like,
that's we've spoke about this quite a lot, haven't we, Scott?
Yeah.
Like, this is like our ultimate dream is that Novak's going to win it and then hand it over to Andy and be like, here you go, man, I finally got it for
Andy
you.
will post a photo with the trophy, holding the trophy with Novak, and say, finally got my hands on this or something. Like, he will say that.
Yeah.
Like, that'll happen. Like, and we all know that will be his first tweet after it happens or something, or an Instagram upload. And I just need it in my soul. Like, really, to be honest with you. Like, I think I actually needed to be happy in life. I think I would go that far. And I think it would actually really improve the rest of my year. And I think if it doesn't happen, the rest of my year will be lesser because of it. So I don't want to get
no
like
pressure.
or like, but like it is like Novak, like I need this like more than I need, my breakfast in the morning. So like, yeah, I'm quite desperate for it to happen.
Yeah, same.
And like, obviously, if I look at it objectively, yeah, he's not. It's going to be difficult. Like, it's going to be really hard because Alcaraz and Sinner are there. Although I will say, like, if it's not for them, I don't necessarily. I'm looking at the draw. I'm thinking, is there anybody else who can beat him? I don't know. I don't think
Who
so.
can beat Novak?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's those two. Those two. Like Medvedev. Like nah. Like who else? Who else is really going to come along and beat him at the Australian Open? I don't like. Are you picking anyone? I'm not picking anyone. I don't think.
I'm looking at my round of 16. Yeah, I don't.
Anybody else going to beat him? No. Like, let's be honest. Let's at the Australian Open. He's won the event 10 times. Like, let's come on now. Like,
yeah, I think he has a decent draw up until the round of 16.
Yeah,
I think it gets a little dicey for him.
And he does, like, he has Andy in his corner. Like, for his back, I'm not saying who knows how that will impact his game. Hopefully by that point we'll maybe see some in some way. I do think he needs to be way more aggressive and rally less, especially against younger opposition. And he's brought in Andy Murray, who was famous for rallying too much and not being aggressive enough against younger opposition.
Andy can say to him, here's a lesson to learn from me.
It didn't work for me, mate. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. It can work for you because you've not got a metal head. So who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I can't really see anybody aside from Alcaraz and I mean, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to mention Zverev, but like,
no,
he is like objectively very good.
I wouldn't hear it. I wouldn't hear it.
I agree, but I do have him making the semis.
It is concerning. That he is as good as he is. So, I mean, it would
has
be
he been tested? Have we tested him yet? Can we just get him banned?
Look, if you look at his finals Grand Slam record, you know he doesn't need to be tested.
So, oh my god! Maybe he would have won one if he'd done something.
Listen, we don't seem to be getting rid of him any other way. So,
God, let's not advocate for illegally spiking an athlete's trip on a stream here.
That's not what we're saying.
We're gonna let's not do that. Let's continue with the chat before our stream gets shut down by Zverev's law.
John's reading into a paper bag backstage right now. The lawyers are coming for me.
People are sending this link to Zverev's lawyers right now, being like, hey, what are these guys talking about?
We haven't said anything controversial about
We actually haven't.
I could say a lot.
Oh yeah. And
anyway.
I'm pretty sure we have, at least in our own like little Twitter bubbles, we definitely have said something.
Yeah, we definitely have. You know what? I'd like to see Rublev do well. There he is on the screen there. I like Rublev.
I like Rublev.
I
feel
he
he's got
makes
some
me
anger
so
issues.
sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad too. There was a great article that came out of an interview with him today. Did you see it? It was in the Guardian newspaper.
No,
No.
I'll have to
He gives
go
he
check
gives a
that
really
out.
good interview about dealing with like depression and taking antidepressant tablets up
Oh.
until a certain point. I don't think he does them anymore. To have to read the article in more detail, but you should go read it. There is, yeah.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend going to read that.
I
And I
hope
like
that helps him.
he's a good egg. He seems like a good egg. He's got some anger issues. Does he win a major?
Does
I
he
can't
make a
see it.
major semifinal is, I think, more of the goal now. I have him going down in the round of 16 to Medvedev.
Yeah, that's gonna
I've
happen.
probably got him losing to Medvedev as well then.
I think we can all just agree
Yeah.
that that'll be taking place.
Yeah.
I do like him. He's nice. It's cute. And Casper Ruud, he went 5 sets in the first round. Sorry, I'm just
He
bouncing
did,
around
yeah.
in results.
He did go 5 sets. I think I also have him going down to Tommy Paul, which I know is. I feel like that's a hot take.
I'm just putting my bracket up to see because I think I might be the same. I mean, I've got Tommy Paul making it to the semi-finals as well. So I mean, what's the hotter take there?
That is a hotter take. I definitely don't have him in the semis.
What are we doing? Claire, what are we
Ridiculous.
doing?
I don't know. I'm just like, come on, let's go for it.
I'm not sure. What a dude. Classic Claire. Somehow Tommy Paul's in the semi-finals. You know what though? If he actually ends up in the semi-finals now, Claire
Who
won't
do you have him in the semifinals against?
Yeah.
I have got him up against Novak Djokovic in the
No, that's really
semi-finals.
Okay.
That'd be an outrageously good run for Tommy Paul if you did that.
Yeah. I think he could have a good run this year.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll see. But Casper,
I mean,
he's not.
Personally, I went right off Tommy Paul after the Olympics, obviously.
Why? What happened?
Well, because he retired Andy Murray, and he actually said, "I would love to retire Andy Murray. That would be so cool."
I forgot about that. I did watch that match.
I won't lie, it's quite an iconic quote. Like, to be fair, to say I would love to retire Andy Murray and then go and retire Andy Murray, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty badass. That's pretty cool to pull that off.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was unnecessarily harsh.
He might have.
It's like a super villain, isn't it?
I don't know.
No, Taylor Fritz didn't say that, and he was very respectful towards Old Man Murray during that match. So I like Morgan, so I'm going to let
I was
Taylor.
gonna say you
love Morgan. I'm really only a Fritz fan now
because of Morgan.
I was not really before. He doesn't do anything for me. I just never really cared for his playing style. But then after was it the French Open or Wimbledon?
Yeah.
Whatever that match was with Zverev. After that, I was I was a Fritz fan.
That was at Wimbledon.
It's such an issue. I just wish that Fritz had a more exciting game as well.
Yeah, he is really consistent though.
Yeah, he does pretty well.
Yeah,
he does.
You know,
but then he gets found out by the big names immediately. Do you know what I mean? Like, remember the US Open final? We all entered that US Open final. We're all like, we know how this is going. We know how this is playing out here.
Yeah, it is kind of sad because I don't really think there was anything Fritz could have done better in that match. I think he really did use every tool that he has, but it was just it was never going to be enough. And I kind of see him that way in against everyone. Like, he has a lot of great tools, but he doesn't have whatever that like next level thing is. But he always uses all of his tools to his great success. But it's just it's never going to be enough against like the top two guys.
No, unfortunately.
So what you're saying there is he always gives 100% of what he can give, but it's just not necessarily his 100% isn't on par with other people's 100%.
Yeah.
It's a good analysis of that.
Yeah.
That's a good analysis there. Yeah, who do we have him losing to?
Oh.
I've
got him losing in the quarters to Medvedev.
Same. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair play.
I like to support him because the further he goes, the more we see a Morgan.
I like to keep him around because of how many times he has beaten Zverev in Grand Slams.
also that.
So I like to have him around just in case.
Just in case.
It seems like Zverev cannot figure out how to beat Fritz, and I love that.
Yes, I'm so happy about this. You know, you do just get that at times, don't you? You have two players where one of them cannot get their head around how to beat the other one, and it's just always going to be like that. If this continues for Fritz and Zverev, like I'll watch tennis until the end of time.
Yeah, we're okay with
that.
we're all right with that. Yeah. Well, let's see how the men's draw goes. Shall we talk about the ladies? We've only got 20 minutes left.
Let's do it.
I
I assume we all have Sabalenka to win the tournament.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talked about that.
Okay, well let's back up a bit. Who do we have for our quarterfinal matchups?
So I've got Sabalenka and Zheng.
Same.
Coco Gauff and Paula Badosa. How I got Badosa into the quarterfinals, I'm not quite sure, but she's there. Rybakina and Pauline. And Emma Navarro and Swiatek.
We have a very similar bracket, Claire. I only have, instead of Badosa, I have Pegula against Coco.
Okay. Yep.
I think my favorite thing about Claire's brackets is there's always just a few absolute random names that makes it. You're like
throw them in.
Like it's just with like the bottom two brackets. She's always just like, that'd be a bit of fun.
Yeah. Listen, see, if I was a lowly ranked tennis player, like I'm saying that as if Paula Badosa's a lowly ranked tennis player, I would want someone to throw me a bone every now and again. Right? So that's what I'm doing.
Fair enough. My final is Sabalenka and Swiatek.
Yeah. And it's going to be a straight set win.
Oh yeah,
it will be like it just.
That will be a 45-minute match.
Right? What? Like yeah, it will be. I think it will be.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think Sabalenka drops a set winning this tournament. Is that controversial? Like,
no, it's not. I mean, even last night or this morning, her match against Stevens, Sabalenka had a few kind of sloppy moments.
Yeah.
And Stevens had a few really good moments. And even then, it was like pretty straightforward in the end for Sabalenka.
Yeah.
Standard win. So yeah, I can't see her coming up against any. I think the person who might trouble her the most is Coco in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
It's Coco, I think if she stays consistent through the tournament. I was just reading an article about her today about how her serve and her forehand are completely different as to what they were, 6 months ago. So I think that could be like a match to watch. I don't 100% know who would win it. I do obviously I have picked Sabalenka, but I wouldn't be surprised if Coco came out of that the victor.
Yeah, I think the thing about like Coco slightly changing her game a lot is it's such a like you can kind of tell that like she's kind of playing with this like freedom of like having a slightly different game in her arsenal now, and she's just like enjoying the freedom and the kind of less pressure that comes with that in having like trying out a new like thing, and it's working for her. You know what I mean? It's like that. I feel like you can kind of see that in how she plays. And so that's why I'm quite excited, to see how she does. And I do think she is the biggest rival for Sabalenka this tournament. And that is the match you circle in the draw as the one that you're like, let's have that. let's see what happens there. And I don't know who wins it, to be honest. Having just said the Sabalenka is not going to drop a set, I'm now like
she might drop a set.
Yeah,
she might drop two. She might lose that match. No, I'll still say that I feel like Sabalenka could relatively steamroll this draw if she has the right mindset about it. But Yeah, you just can't really see past her, to be honest. She
No,
has
I just
that
feel like there's something in her that even when she's playing a bit sloppy, she's got something that gets her over the line.
Also, the Australian Open
No.
just suits her. The Australian Open
Yeah.
just suits her as well.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Like the court's perfect for her. You know, she's won there multiple times. Like, it's what do we think of Gavin's thoughts here?
I don't disagree. I mean, I do have her getting to the quarters, and I
Yeah,
do
same.
really like her. But I just think that this is Sab's tournament, and I just can't see. It might be a 3-set match. Like Queen might get a set off of her, but I don't think she'll ultimately beat her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
But I do think that Queen could win a major this year. She is
Do you
my
think?
she is my dark horse pick for the year.
Which major are you picking?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't decided. But I don't know. She did so well at the WTA finals that I'm like, okay, this could be a year.
This could be our time.
Yeah.
You know what, John? We'll see about that. But
I also growl when I lose. I don't. What's the big deal?
don't we all? Isabel, I see a tennis racket. Do you play tennis?
You know, I started playing again a few months ago, and I've been playing like 2 or 3 times a week here in LA, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah, have you been enjoying it? Nice.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know when the next time I'll be able to go outside is because there's ashes through the air, but hopefully I can get back in a couple weeks. But yeah, when I lose, I am very upset. I do not like to lose. So I don't know why people are. I think this is very real. Like why do we expect her to just smile when she loses?
Yeah,
I don't think the guys do that. We don't say that about any of the men.
No, it's
I
such a
think as well,
balance.
it depends on who they're playing. You know, like if they're playing their friends, someone they're really close to, then they're maybe more likely to smile and be like, I'm gutted, but I'm happy for you. If they've got that kind of friendship. Like, I'll go back to it again, Sloane and Madison Keys, they're best friends.
Yep.
And when they played each other at the US Open a few years ago, one of them had to lose, but they were both happy for each other, no kind of regardless of what was going to happen. But I think with this one, there's been a few comments in the chat that I've been having a laugh as I've been reading through them. People tell me to stop using Sloane Stephens as a marker for how Sabalenka's played. I'm not using her as a marker for how Sabalenka's playing. It's just that's the only person she's played so far.
She hasn't won a single match since Wimbledon.
But also right, I just feel like Sloane's a smiley person. She is quite a smiley person, but
she is.
Part of me thinks that she's probably just happy to kind of be out here and playing just now.
Yeah, fair.
So
I don't think
she's smiling.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to compare how like one woman is reacting to a loss to another like that.
Yeah,
it's why are we doing that?
It is such a demonstration of like tennis, like shooting itself in the foot with like conversations like this. It's like it's such a nothing thing. Like why are we spending time talking about handshakes on the net? Like come on now. And like at the same time I say that and I'm like I'm obsessed with it too. Whenever somebody posts a video of like, look at this cold handshake, I will watch that. Like I will be clicking on it to watch it.
I mean, I don't think there have been articles about how Danielle Collins doesn't smile when she loses because she does not smile when she loses, and she gives some crazy handshakes at the net, but we're not seeing articles written about it. There's a weird stereotype against Queen that I don't quite understand where it's coming from. And I don't like it.
She's really lovely.
Yeah.
Like it's not like she comes across as this awful, horrible kind of cold person through everything. She's really lovely. Like if you watched the night with Novak.
Oh yeah,
that was on the other night, and they played the mixed doubles. She's so sweet and she's funny and she's got lovely rapport with people. So it's not that she's like a cold person. I'd be the same. Like, I mean, I would lose every tennis match I ever played because I'm terrible. So I would be constantly growling. Like I would just be walking around with my face tripping me all the time. It's just you're not going to be doing cartwheels after you lose a match that you really want to win.
Yeah.
So
I do think there is this like expectation on the women's side that like all of the women must really like each other also, because women have to be best friends all the time. So whenever there is we've got on the screen here this Gauff Iga thing, they don't have to like each other, because it's very clear that a lot of the men don't like each other, and we don't look at it like, oh my god, they must hate each other. Like, what is wrong with either of them? You're not gonna. Women don't all like each other. It's perfectly normal. Yeah.
Claire and Peter barely like me, and they've done nearly 100 episodes of a podcast.
I mean, we would definitely not shake Scott's hand at the net.
Yeah, that's because I'd go yelling. I'd go yelling about it. Like, ah!
Scott get in the corner smashing up a racket. So
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting discourse. Like it's like I don't know. I'm kind of as I say. I'm always somebody who's kind of here for the drama of stuff. And
I like a little bit of drama, but I don't like it when the drama has like sexist undertones.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, absolutely. And it's like, and at the same time, you're like, it's actually good to see that kind of thing, because it's like that's like part of the competition. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's part of the competition to not like losing, and it's like you'll tune in for this match next time because you'll know that, they'll want to make sure that they win this time against that person. So I don't know. It's it's kind of interesting.
Also, just tensions run high in matches. I mean, you've seen it with like like in some of the matches where the British girls have played each other. I think this is one that has come up a couple of times, and it's Harriet Dart a few times where she's gone and she shaked hands with Katie Bolter, for example, and they've had like a bit of beef at the net, or there's been words exchanged, but then 2 days later they're playing together for Billie Jean King Cup, and they're absolutely fine, and they've got their arms around each other. Like, sometimes tensions just run high in the heat of the moment, and you're a bit grumpy. It's like you said, Isabel, if that was men, people would be like, oh, it's just what happens. But if it's women, there's something else going on. They're being bitchy, or there's definitely a problem there. So
it is always such a letdown when you watch one of those videos and people say, oh, look at this handshake, and it is just like a regular handshake. And then you're like, they've got a sad face. Like that's all that's going on here. It's a regular handshake, and then like if anything, like if you're going to be posting a video, like at the very least, I need one of them to be like swearing at the other person. Like, you fucking told me, you piece of shit. Like, oh, get you next time. Like, if they're not like semi like punching each other over the net, I don't want to be seeing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want a bit of like, but 99 times out of 100, it is just they look a little bit sad. Like, there's nothing much going on like there, so I don't know. It's kind of you're right. Like, the kind of expectation is like for the ladies, them all to be smiley and happy afterwards, and the men are like, all the time. It is how it is. Listen, that's a perfect impression of Andy Murray when he's won a match. He won Wimbledon. So
he was like, I'm really happy.
I'm really ecstatic.
Really happy.
I can't
Totally chuffed.
I beat Novak. I can't believe it. That was it. So I'm very aware that we've got like 5 minutes left here. Should we talk about anything else? Like, what else is on people's radar? Like, about this tournament? There he is. That's a great...
Oh, look at him. That's him just after he won.
He's a control dude there. Okay. Yeah, that was right after he won Wimbledon.
I don't think that is. I don't think that is. I think that might be 2012 after he lost against Federer. Just based on the shirt that he's wearing. How sad is that we can tell the year, Scott, based on the shirt?
I can do that with Federer. I totally understand. And all of his shirts look the same. Maybe real quick, do we have any other dark horses for the tournament? I think Claire is obviously Tommy Paul.
Mine's is Gail Monfils.
Really?
I would love.
He just won Auckland, didn't he?
I mean, he did just win a tournament. Like, it's sort of like, of course he's not going to win, but he might. I mean, he won't, but he might. Like we all know he's not. We all know that there's a high likelihood that he goes out in the first round after all this. You know, he won a tournament last week, but he might.
How far do you have him going?
Oh, who's he against in the first round? Give me. Do you have the draw on you? I don't have the draw.
Yeah, let me pull that
Because
up.
I never turn up with a draw. Come on, Isabel. I know you've never been on Murray Musings, but you should know I'm under.
I can't see.
Actually not
There it is.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I do have him going out in the first round.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's a really tough first round, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, God love him. He's going to lose that match.
You know what? I'm going to pick Gail to win this match.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
I'm going to pick
Why
Gail
not, eh?
to win this match in 5 sets and lose, or like pull out injured before the second round. There you go. Okay. All right, ladies. Is that fine with you? Gail's going to win this match. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. And when he
for
does, right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to at you both on Twitter with Gail.
Please
winning
do.
that match. I'm going to at you both and be like, I told you I'm talking tennis. Do you remember? Just the other day. Yeah, I think I've got that out. I think Gail could go far, and by far I mean the second round.
Well, I feel like that really is quite far for him at this point in his career. Like far for Andy Murray, wasn't it? So you know,
it was.
We were doing cartwheels at the third round.
We were
So you know,
when he won the second.
Real quick before we end, matches to keep an eye on today. I agree with what people are saying in the comments. I think the Tsitsipas Mickelson match. I don't know that it'll be a good match, but I do think that Mickelson could take out Tsitsipas.
Yeah, sorry. How are we generally vibing with Tsitsipas these days? I think it's time. Time for winning.
I just don't care about him anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, neither do I.
Yeah.
Were you quite a big fan of him once upon a time, Isabel?
Early on, yeah. Like when he first toppled Roger at the Australian Open, I was like, okay, I can be a fan of this. Solidly not really a fan anymore, because of some personal issues.
Sure, some of the things that he's came out with. But also like I don't see him winning like a major like at all anymore. I think his time is truly past.
I actually saw Alex Mickelson play at Surbiton last year in June when I went to see Andy and then he pulled out. So he's really good.
Yeah.
I think he'll give Steph a game. Like it's not going to be easy for him. I think I have put in my bracket. I think I have put Steph to win it, but yeah, I think it could be a tough one, and I wouldn't be surprised if he lost.
Yeah, I don't see him going too far, unfortunately.
Yeah. Other matches today, I think keep an eye on. Oh, obviously Coco Gauff and Sophia Kenin.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I think Coco will win, but Kenin did take her out first round of Wimbledon.
I see a different Coco at the moment, though. Different Coco.
Yeah, it's a different Coco, so it might not be an interesting match, but like one to watch definitely. And I think the other one, Osaka and Garcia, absolutely. I don't think there will be a lot of rallies in that match.
Bang, bang, bang.
And no one really knows like where Naomi is with her injury.
Sometimes I'm watching her and be like, oh yeah, she's got another major in her. And then sometimes I'm watching her and I'm like, no, she doesn't.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think those are my watches for today.
And I hate to say it because I don't like putting them on a must-watch list. However, Jacob Fernley and Nick Kyrgios, I think is going to be a pretty decent match.
I think it might be.
I think it's going to be chaotic and messy.
Yeah, I think that will be a good match to watch. Cool. Is that it?
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, I think we've talked mostly everything.
Wonderful. Guys, can you admire my wristband I've got? It's got my name on it.
That is lovely, Scott.
I wondered what that said. I saw it a little bit and I couldn't tell.
Somebody got me it for like my work Secret Santa. Like, and I was like, oh, these are nice wristbands. And then I turned them over and I was like, why?
Oh, do you have two that say Scott?
No, I've got about 6. It's like a packet of wristbands, and I was like, "Oh, these are quite nice." And then I opened them up, and I was like, "Why have they all got my name on them?"
Well, it's obviously in case you forget your name when you're playing.
I mean, that's kind of what I thought, right? I guess theoretically, but part of me thinks like, did you like send a packet of these wristbands to somebody and like get them printed? Like, because I don't think you can just walk into a shop and buy wristbands with my name.
No, you would buy them off of like Amazon, like an
Do you
Amazon
think?
seller or something. Yeah.
But all the good players have merch that they wear with their name on it. Like Francis Tiafoe has the necklace that says Big Foe. Stan Wawrinka has Stan the Man on his shoes.
I could write Big here, Big Scott. Right?
Big Scott, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so do I.
I think on that note.
On that note, this has been very fun. It's good to see you both. I hopefully we can do another one of these for an actual match in the next 2 weeks. And I hope y'all enjoy it's day 1 or is it day 2? Whatever. First round. Day 2, first round.
Today.
The Australian Open.
It ends in Y.
Pardon?
It's a day that ends with Y.
Yeah, there you go.
End the stream. End the stream.
It's time for bed. Right. It's time for bed.
All right. All right. Well, bye, y'all. Good to see ya.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.